Hey y'all, got a nice short one here for War 6. It's mainly built around Apocalypse. You'll see the fight later, that is why I have him, but this lined up well for Path 7 here. Valkyrie can be kind of annoying because she can purify these fatigues, but Apocalypse just stops purification, so he's your dude. There are definitely other ways to handle this. You can use Namor, that kind of thing, Omega Red. I feel like one of them was maybe. No, Omega Red wasn't banned. But we needed Apocalypse elsewhere, so he was the obvious answer here. She is, of course, tactic, so we're going to make a point of hitting into her block from time to time. But it doesn't really matter. Her specials aren't that dangerous. And as you can see, Apocalypse is just going to do so much damage to her. Like, that first special one took so much off. Yeah, we go ahead and parry there. It is important to note, just if this fight does go longer, if you're using a smaller Apocalypse, one without the cable synergy maybe, or a different counter, remember that Valkyrie's combo shield does not fall off below 10, which means that she can go stun immune on you. And yeah, then if you try and parry and do other things like I did here, you're in for a bad time. But moving on, I had the other fight there doubled, although Apocalypse probably could have done it. It just happened to line up that we had an ult. And now I'm taking Absorbing Man here on node 26. The Hazard Shift Shock Bleed Miniboss also has Conflictor. This is why we have Apocalypse. This is why I have Cable on the team to make sure I had all of my charges. This is why Odin is on the team to make sure that we have an answer to Shock. This is a good placement. Definitely counters a lot of the usual options for Absorbing Man, but Apocalypse turns off Conflictor. That's going to make it easy for us to keep a lot of debuffs up. Despair is going to work out for us. And then on top of that, Apocalypse turning off Conflictor means that we can use the Mr. Fantastic pre-fights, and that means that we just have this completely under control. Go ahead and go for the Special 2 first. I played it slightly more cautious than absolutely necessary there because I didn't know exactly when the bleed immunity would kick in, and I didn't want to throw the Special 2 early, be wrong, and get like, I don't know, 6 bleeds on myself right before the immunity kicked in, and just take damage that I didn't need to. But we just go for the Special 2 right after that, and we just have so much damage here. Like, Carl is tanky, absolutely. But if you can keep him out of his forms, he doesn't have those resistances, and all he has is crit resistance. And Apocalypse just doesn't care that much. Now, I definitely could have heavy countered there, but his Magma form just gives him energy resistance. Apocalypse's red damage is physical resistance, and so we didn't even need to because we were that close to finishing it off. Potentially very dangerous fight, just absolutely bodied by 4-charge Apocalypse with Odin pre-fights. Kind of the nuclear option, but it fit on the map, so that's why I have kind of a short war. Anyway, we have Kingpin here. This is a fight that if I can find something else, I often don't send Apocalypse to. If he's at 4 code, especially at rank 4, absolutely go for it. But the thing to remember is that because Apocalypse turns off Purifies, Kingpin can get more than 8 rage stacks. He can actually get an unlimited number of rage stacks, which means that there is no limit on just how hard he hits, and there's no limit on just how high his combat power rate goes. So that is why I'm not throwing any heavies here at all. I don't want to add those. Like, those bleeds are not worth giving him those benefits at all. We are just focusing on our specials here. It's interesting, when I first took this, I actually didn't notice that he didn't have willpower on. But as long as you are playing carefully and or your Apocalypse is boosted hard enough that you just cut that down before the combat power rate becomes a problem, it's totally safe. You just need to be a little more careful than normal, in my opinion, and make sure to bait out the Special 1 very aggressively. And so then we move on to Shuri here. Part of the reason I was able to bring Odin for Apocalypse is because I know that Odin is a very good Shuri counter. Now, part of the reason that she's on this node is that you need to knock her down, and if you are relying purely on baiting her heavies, it can be difficult to get damage windows from those knockdowns because you often either need the ability to parry projectiles or you need a lot of special attacks. Odin is going to do just fine because he has access to True Strike, which keeps her from going untouchable by always keeping her charges low. And so this could go faster with someone else, but it really doesn't matter because we are keeping Mega Standoff enough. We're keeping untouchable from ever being a problem. We block really well with class advantage. And so we're just baiting heavies and specials and punishing them and hitting her until she falls over. Like, this isn't the most dramatic or sexy counter in the world, but it is just so good for this. Odin is super, super solid and an excellent Shuri counter. Yeah, basically enough said there. So we did end up losing this war, unfortunately. It was a fairly close one, but honestly, Battle Group 3 had a really bad day. Coming off of our donut the last time around. We'll be looking into that, trying to make sure that we can plug those holes, but we did let the Alliance down a little bit. And that is not a great feeling. But congrats to the other two battle groups. They played really cleanly, and we'll come back from it. We're still going into the halfway mark for the season, 4-2, and so that should put us pretty cleanly in Masters, probably top 10 at the moment, and sets us up pretty decently for our overall goal, which is, of course, Masters every season. Additionally, even with Battle Group 3 having a very bad day, we still were under our Alliance goal of 6 deaths a war, so I'll take that. Could be worse. Gonna go ahead and move forward. Until next time, thanks so much for watching, and take care.